have a Google Doc pulled up with the top 10 things that a good supplier provides. And these 10 things are 10 things we're gonna go over first. So then once I actually show you the suppliers in the rest of this video, you guys can know what each one is good for and what one is gonna be best for you to use in your specific case. If you guys want access to this Google Doc that I'm actually going over in this video, all you need to do is go to the link in the description and join the free course. Then once you join the free dropshipping course in the description, you'll be able to hit me up in our free course Discord. And in that group chat, you could just join in, text in the general chat and just say, hey, I want the doc from the latest YouTube video, and I'll get that sent over to you. All you need to do once again is go to the link in the description and click where it says click here to join the free course. Sign up. Once you're inside, you'll see how to join the Discord and you can hit me up in there to get this doc. So the first thing that a good supplier is going to give you is fast and reliable shipping. Aim for 5 to 12 day delivery to major countries, US, UK, Canada, and Australia. This is what you're going to want to shoot for. This is pretty typical among a good private supplier for sure. But if it's any longer than that, at that point, it's not really going to be a supplier I would say to go with. Obviously, depending on your product, if it's a type of product that literally nobody can get unless the shipping's, a little bit longer, that might be all right because customers would understand in that case. But in most cases, you really want to make sure that whatever product you're selling is getting there within 5 to 12 days of the customer ordering. Next thing is you want to make sure they give you tracking numbers that are going to automatically sync with Shopify. So this is still part of number one, but make sure that whatever supplier you're using provides you tracking numbers, because if they don't, or if they provide it to you in a way that doesn't link up with Shopify, it's going to be an absolute pain for you or somebody on your team to go through and literally manually add the tracking number. First manually find the tracking number, then manually add the tracking number to each one of your Shopify orders in the back end. I know if you haven't had orders yet, this might not sound too hard or might not sound too frustrating to do, but you guys will see if you have to literally manually add every tracking number. And then the last point on number one kind of plays in with the first thing, which is avoid suppliers with timelines of 15 to 30 business days. You see this a lot, 15 to 30 business days, and if it says that, don't do that. It's going to be on the longer side of that 15 to 30 days most of the time, and 30 days is just way too long. So biggest thing on number one is just make sure that the supplier you use has fast shipping and also has all the other things that come along with fast shipping, like tracking numbers, like auto syncing the tracking numbers with Shopify. So number two is going to be consistent product quality. Now this is insanely important because a lot of the times you might order a sample from a supplier, or you might just, get a one-off product from Amazon, and then you might find a supplier for that product, and the product pictures might look the same, but when you actually start ordering from the supplier, the quality might be completely different. And in worst cases, it might be completely terrible. Like it might be actually a bad difference. Most of the time it's gonna be. There's very rare times I've ever seen where you order a sample and the bulk fulfillment, or when you start bulk ordering from the brand, it gets better. Usually it stays the same. And this is why you want to find a supplier who's actually reputable, because if they don't have consistent quality, there will be reviews. Over time, they will not last, because every time somebody buys from them, if they're giving crappy products to their customers, over time, they're gonna have bad reviews and they're just not gonna make it as a supplier. But there's tons of these kind of suppliers out there. So you being one of the first targets that they get and, screw over, honestly likely. I've had a lot of cases where I've had miscommunications with suppliers because our languages were different and something gets sent out wrong, or a time where a supplier just everything's fine, I think everything's perfect, I think they know exactly what I want, and then all the wrong color goes here, or these addresses won't ship to, or now it's the product was only going to cost $5 to ship and now they're saying it's going to be 20 per item to ship, or whatever. You're going to deal with situations where suppliers have quality issues, and if you stick to a highly reputable supplier, you're going to reduce the amount of times you have those issues, hopefully to zero. With certain suppliers, like I'm going to show you guys in this video, the really reliable ones, you won't have to deal with this at all. They'll notice that the product's coming through is bad quality, or they'll notice that this isn't acceptable before you have to notice that, and you have to go in there and do that for your business. When I was first starting in dropshipping, we didn't have all these amazing suppliers. We just had to work directly with AliExpress only, and there was a lot of these situations that I just lost money on. So real quick, I want to explain to you guys what AliExpress is, because when it comes to talking about dropshipping suppliers, AliExpress is probably the most common term. I wouldn't really call them much of a supplier, because you definitely don't want to be thinking of AliExpress as a supplier to use nowadays. It's really not something you should ever be using to supply for your dropshipping store because shipping times are going to be long. But this is the OG dropshipping supplier. Before you could dropship anything or there was any of these private suppliers, it was people selling products dropshipping directly off of AliExpress. And why this is because it's just a website, essentially Amazon, but a huge collection of products coming from suppliers. So on AliExpress, for example, if I want to, I could get these, like, let's look up like Nike shoes, for example. You know, these knockoff Nike shoes right here, 70 bucks, 100 bucks for these Jordans, 90 bucks, 200 bucks, right? You could buy anything on here basically. Like, let's type in like Vans, for example. I used to order Vans off of AliExpress when I was a little kid, or some of my buddies did. So right here, you guys got Vans. You guys can search up, I mean, literally anything. I'm just trying to show you guys that you can, you know, literally look for anything on here and they're going to have a ton of different listings. It's basically a place to get products directly from Chinese suppliers. There's suppliers from all over, but specifically, I guess Chinese suppliers are on here. That's what it's really known for. But basically, it's just a website like Amazon with a ton of different products. And this was the old way of drop shipping. People used to just drop ship directly off of AliExpress. This is what it was. This was the supplier, essentially. Nowadays, you are not going to be wanting to use AliExpress as a supplier. I hesitate to even call it a supplier because I don't want you guys to think of AliExpress as a supplier that you guys can be using because the shipping is just too long. Now, Alibaba is kind of cool because it is the bulk version of AliExpress. And the reason I want to show this to you guys is because some of you guys might be interested in doing custom clothing brands one day or just custom products in general. And if you get to the point where you're wanting to order, say, 5,000 custom t-shirts, or 500 custom t-shirts, this is where you do it. Alibaba is essentially AliExpress, but the bulk place. It's where if you want to buy, you know, 100 of these toothbrushes off of AliExpress, instead of buying them for $133 off AliExpress, you could probably get them for, you know, 50 cents per toothbrush if you buy 500 at once on Alibaba. Alibaba is not for drop shipping at all, obviously, because you're buying products in bulk. So meaning you're going to have to pay for the products up front. But it is a great place to find suppliers for bulk ordering custom products. All right, let's talk about the pros and the cons of AliExpress, because ultimately you can use this as a supplier, and I'm sure there's some people that still do, although I highly advise against it. But I still want to point out these pros and cons, so then when we talk about the supplier next that I really recommend you guys use, you guys can see the differences between this supplier that I'm about to talk about called Zendrop and AliExpress. So AliExpress, massive product variety, access to millions of products across nearly every niche imaginable. I don't think there's any other website that has as many products as AliExpress on it. AliExpress has an insane amount of products. So yes, this is considered a pro for AliExpress for sure. Easy access. There's no minimum order quantity or anything like that on AliExpress, which is good. There's a lot of suppliers out there that do require minimum order quantities and things like that. With AliExpress, you don't have that. So that would technically be another dub for AliExpress. Next thing is global supplier network. So as you guys can see, I got it written down right here. Many sellers are open to working with small businesses or drop shippers, meaning that all the businesses or most of the businesses on AliExpress, most of the products on AliExpress, you're able to drop ship with those suppliers, and there's tons of different suppliers. Almost every listing is a different supplier on AliExpress. So you're gonna be able to contact, meet, and network with tons of suppliers. Obviously, I don't recommend you guys use AliExpress for your drop shipping supplier, but this is what it is. Next, we're gonna talk about the cons. So number one, long shipping times. You guys already know this, the shipping times are insanely long on AliExpress. Can take 2 to 4 weeks sometimes, or even longer to ship. So long shipping times, weaker packaging. Most of the time when you're ordering off of AliExpress, the packaging comes arrived, it's all banged up. It's kind of, there a lot of times when I've got stuff off AliExpress, the quality of the packaging just isn't the best. Sometimes it like smells a little funny. Sometimes it's just weird. I don't know if that's every package. It's not every package. I can actually guarantee it's not. There's obviously some AliExpress suppliers that do have good packaging, but it's just kind of luck of the draw with that. Next thing is inconsistent reliability. This is true. You never really know what the product's going to be. There'll be 10 different suppliers with 10 of the same exact listings, but if you order the product from those 10 suppliers, sometimes they'll all be the same or similar, or sometimes one will be like substantially less quality than the other because it's coming from somewhere else or this and that. So the quality on AliExpress is kind of a variable dependent on what product you're selling and what supplier you're using for that product. Next is manual negotiations. You pretty much have to negotiate everything manually on AliExpress. I guess in life this kind of applies in general, but especially with AliExpress, other suppliers like Zendrop, which I'm about to talk about, will actually go out and try to get the best quote for you, get the best quality for you, get the best shipping for you. AliExpress isn't going to do any of that. You're left to do all that on your own. Order fulfillment, literally everything. There's nothing that AliExpress is going to do for you other than give you an interface to find products and suppliers. So that leads me to my next point, which is AliExpress and how it stacks up with our 10 most important things. Because just like our next supplier that I'm going to talk about, Zendrop, I'm going to put AliExpress to the test on our 10 things that make a good supplier. Number 1, fast, reliable shipping. No. Number 2, consistent product quality. No. Number 3, competitive pricing, volume discounts. Yes, they do have competitive pricing, and sometimes they do give volume discounts on AliExpress, so they got that. White label or custom branding? No, not typically. Responsive customer service support? I've dealt with Ali support before. It's not really existent, but sometimes if you can get a hold of the supplier and the supplier actually replies and stuff, you can have conversations. I've seen both, so it's kind of Next, automatic fulfillment and tracking integration? Definitely not. Product variety and inventory stability. There's a big variety and there is inventory stability, so I'd say yes on that. Sometimes obviously not. Sometimes certain suppliers on AliExpress don't have inventory, so just make sure you check. You can check on AliExpress real easy. It's literally in the product listing. Next is going to be strong credibility and reputation. Make sure they've been in the game. AliExpress has been in the game, but AliExpress is different from the suppliers that are on AliExpress. So I'm going to say to this because it depends on the supplier that you use on AliExpress. You could actually see on AliExpress how long the supplier's been in business and their reviews, and that's going to determine the answer to this question. There's some reputable suppliers on AliExpress for sure. Some of the best suppliers in the game. But there's also some really unreputable ones for sure. So as you guys can see, I am now inside of my Zendrop dashboard. I started a new test account just to show you guys exactly what it looks like from scratch, so you guys could follow along with me exactly if you want to. All you guys need to do to first sign up for Zendrop is go to the link in the description. Make sure you use my link, because if you don't, you won't get access to these deals. If you just go to the regular Zendrop page, or if you go to the Shopify App Store and download Zendrop, you're not gonna get access to the insane deal that I have for you guys, which gives you Zendrop for a crazy discount, as well as offers you guys free order credits. Meaning if you guys use my link to sign up, not only will you save money on Zendrop after your free trial ends, but you'll also get some of your orders paid for directly by Zendrop. Literally just go to the link in the description, sign up for a Zendrop free trial, and once you guys do, you'll be able to see this screen that I have in front of me on your own page, on your own computer. The first thing you're going to want to do when you log into Zendrop is hook up your Shopify store. Now, if you don't already have a Shopify store, make sure you go to the link in the description and sign up for a Shopify free trial. I'll also have that link right down there in the description. And then once you sign up for Shopify, all you're gonna do is click connect a store I already have inside of Zendrop. If you want to, you could have Zendrop use their AI to build you a custom store right here, or you could click build your own store manually and just click continue and start a Shopify trial. However, if you guys use the link in my description to sign up for Shopify, it does really help me and the channel out, so I would appreciate it. That being said, once you sign up for Zendrop using the link in the description as well as Shopify, like I said, both links are down there. All you're gonna do is click connect a store I already have inside of Zendrop. If you don't see this message right in front of you, just click right up here where it says add new store, and then click connect a store I already have. Now I'm going to click continue, and I'm just going to go ahead and follow the steps on this page. So first I need to just click authorize, and basically it's going to pull up the Shopify App Store. Now I click install, and I'm going to install Zendrop onto my Shopify store. So all I'm going to do now is just click install on Zendrop. So now that we're inside of Zendrop and we have our Shopify store successfully connected, the next thing I want to do is just give you guys a tour of how to use Zendrop, what it's like, and just how to do everything. So basically, once you're inside of here, number one, you have your dashboard. This is going to have your orders, your profit, your sales, your cost, literally everything right in here. So a nice little mini dashboard inside of Zendrop to really tell you what you're spending versus what you're making. Next thing is if we go down, you can see private agent. So right here is something that you get access to once you have 20 orders. If you guys remember, one of our things is we want to find a supplier that scales with us. Zendrop will scale with you. Literally, as you make sales, more of the app unlocks for you to where you're able to get access to a private agent. Literally just 20 orders. Once you make 20 orders, which is honestly a small amount, you're going to be able to get access to the Zendrop private agent, which is going to give you even more hands-on treatment and hands-on help from the Zendrop team with scaling, finding better pricing, better shipping, all those things that we talked about in a supplier. Next thing, the find product section. So this is where you're gonna find products. Now you have a bunch of filters up here you could use, or you can just search whatever product you want. If we go ahead and do the projector, let's do projector, boom. We can see there's tons of different projectors right here. If we want to look at one, we can just click on it, get further details. So if we click into here, we can get further details on this product, see whatever we want, saturation, order trend store, orders by country. We can see a bunch of different similar products. We could sample order if we want. We can click add to my products if we want, or we can just go back and keep scrolling through even more options. But basically, this find products page is where you're going to find whatever product you want to sell. Now, if you can't find the product that you want to sell on Zendrop, all you're going to do is click request a product. Then you're basically going to be able to just put a link right here. So if we go to AliExpress, say we can't find this product on Zendrop, but we want to sell it. All we're going to do is copy this AliExpress link, paste it into Zendrop, say how many sales we're making, 0, 1 to 10, or 11 to 50, 0, because we're not currently signed. And then we're just going to click request. And now we're going to be able to have our product imported into Zendrop, so we can now sell it. Their team, as you can see right here, ticket has been updated, product sourcing. And now if we scroll down, as you guys can see, we have this product, it's submitted, and basically within the next couple hours or 24 hours, I'm gonna have a price quote, a shipping quote, and a total cost quote on this product and be able to start selling it with Zendrop, obviously unless there's something wrong with it, in which case they would let me know. But the point is, if you can't find your product on Zendrop already, you can just import it using their import feature, which is so cool. So the find product section is where you can import products. It's where you can search for products. You could also click here at any time to request a product. So you kind of have both options. You can go to find products, scroll down and hit this button, or you can just go to request a product and do it there as well. So super cool. You could pretty much source anything. Now, once we find a product that we actually like, say it's this hoodie, I'm going to click add to my products. And just like that, it's going to pull up this little screen. So I could customize it right here if I want to, and then publish to my store. Or after I click add to my products, I go to the my products section. Now I can see the product right here. I could click on it, I could check out the listing again if I want to, or I could click review and publish. Here I could edit the product name, the description, the variant, the price, the images, and then ultimately I can click publish to my store. And once I click publish to my store, it's gonna now publish the product live on my Shopify store. That being said, that is how you import a product directly to Shopify using Zendrop. Super easy, just a couple buttons and you literally have your product on your Shopify store. The next thing as we move down is the orders tab. Here's where you're gonna see all your orders that you get. So whenever you get an order, you're gonna see everything about it right here. What's total orders, unfulfilled, processing time, in transit, and delivered, everything right here, which is super, super awesome. They actually recently updated this tab. It looks super clean. The next thing is branding. This is a really cool section because this is what allows you to actually get custom branding with Zendrop, and this happens right away. Obviously, that was another thing on our list, making sure that you have custom branding. And your ability to custom brand with Zendrop not only comes when you scale, but it actually comes instantly. As soon as you start using Zendrop, all I need to do is turn this branding button on, and then every single time I get an order, I'm gonna have either one of these classic ones, I could just use this, or I could upload my own custom thank you card that goes in to every single box that my customers receive. Meaning whenever my customers order from my brand, they're gonna get the package, and the package is gonna have a card from my brand saying thank you, literally adding custom branding to the product right away. Meaning from order number one, the customers are going to have custom branding in their box from your brand, which makes your brand look so much more legit. And this is something you usually would only need when you're scaling. It would be obviously super nice to have this in the beginning, but usually you don't. But with Zendrop, you get that in the beginning, literally from day one. All you need to do is either upload your custom thank you card or just use the classic builder. Thank you for your order. and then, you know, shop with us again for 10% off, shop with us again for 50% off, boom, and then you save, and then boom, just like that, we can turn branding. Now every single time, now that branding's on, every single time we get an order, this custom thank you card is going to get sent out to our customers. Obviously, you don't just want to insert random info. You want to actually type out a message. Typically on the thank you card, I like to just upload a custom one, and I like to make it in Canva. I've done this in a bunch of videos already, so if you guys want to watch my other Zendrop tutorials, you guys can. I'm not going to bore you with doing this again. Most of you guys know how to go to Canva and make a thank you card. That being said, this is how you add custom branding on your actual product through Zendrop, which is super insane, and it's really cool, like I said, that you get access to this from day one. Next is going to be trending products. This is basically just a product research software inside of Zendrop where you can search for winning products, which is really nice to have. You guys don't have to use it, but I like to look through here every once in a while. If I'm getting bored on TikTok, can't find anything, I'll go on here and check it out, at least see what they have to offer. It's definitely a cool thing to look for. Look at these little plushies. I actually like these. Those are actually sick. I'm such a toy fiend. Every time I see a toy, I'm like, ooh, like a collector for these things. Anyways, next thing is Zendrop Academy. Zendrop Academy is basically an entire course inside of Zendrop that you get access to for free inside of Zendrop. You guys can check that out. I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's not too important. Next, we have print on demand. The print on demand section, as you can see right here, is basically all for doing custom print on demand stuff. Now, what print on demand is, for those of you guys who don't know, is basically you're able to customize products. So we could customize this t-shirt, put our logo on it, and then basically we're able to drop ship a custom product. Now, every time that a customer orders this t-shirt, for example, Zendrop's gonna print our logo on the t-shirt and ship it directly to the customer as if we're drop shipping. Well, we are drop shipping, but actual custom products. So print on demand is just basically customized drop shipping is how you can think of it. So they do allow for print on demand too, which is really cool, but you basically have everything right here on this left bar inside of Zendrop. Now, what I want to talk about next is this little chat bubble right here. This has to do with the 24/7 support thing we were talking about. So obviously with a supplier, one of the biggest things we've mentioned in this video is you need support. Now, Zendrop has this little guy you can click right here, and you can literally send messages to their support at any time for anything you need. Just open messages, and you could literally just ask a question on anything you need to one of their reps. Look, hey, I'm Tessa right here, boom, AI agent, I'm gonna be able to talk to her, and then essentially, if I need a real person, it's gonna send me to a real person, and they always have a real team looking over everything to make sure everything goes smooth. But my point is, you're able to reach out to their team directly right here, and they even have an AI agent that's gonna try to answer your questions right away. But obviously, if it can't answer your questions, can't solve your problem, they're gonna send it to a team member who's gonna answer your question as well right away, which is super sick. You guys will never have to wait days to get a response. You guys will get a response from Zendrop within 24 hours on any questions you have, and 99% of the time, Zendrop will reach out to you. I mean, really 100% of the time, Zendrop will reach out to you with the problem before you even have a problem. So if there's going to be a problem with an order, if there's going to be a tracking that's delayed or this, Zendrop's going to reach out to you before you even notice that. And that's the nice thing about having this all-in-one software where you literally have a supplier for everything you need all inside of Zendrop, as well as a product sourcing team, as well as a tracking team, as well, literally everything you get inside of Zendrop, as well as 24/7 support if something goes wrong with that team. But the team's already so solid that usually stuff doesn't go wrong. And like I said, if something goes wrong, if a product's out of stock, this, that, and this, their team is gonna hit you up in this message bot and tell you, hey, this is the problem, here's the solutions, what solution do you want to go with? Which is literally the same as if you went out and had to hire your own team to do all this stuff. This is why Zendrop is so powerful. That being said, make sure you guys go to the link in the description and get Zendrop now for an exclusive deal that you guys will not find anywhere else. I hope you guys enjoy using Zendrop. I know you guys will enjoy using Zendrop. Thank you guys so much again for watching. My name is Jeremy Ray, and I'll see you in the next video.